Hello Cancer, welcome to this reading. We're going to be doing a mid-month energy check-in for the sign of Cancer. So this will be your middle of April tarot reading. Do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so if there are messages that do not resonate, drop those messages, and do feel free to take the messages that are in alignment with you. Also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs for more messages for this mid-month energy check-in. All right, let's see what we have here for you, Cancer. Now, I will not send you a message on any platform, so if you get a DM from somebody that is not me, that's someone impersonating me, please do keep that in mind. Please do not get scammed. And I do content on Instagram if you'd like to follow me there, but let's go ahead and see what we have coming in here for you, Cancer. Now, I am using the Mermaid Tarot, so if that's something you'd like to purchase for yourself, there is a link to that in the description below. And all right, so let's go ahead and get all the cards out here. Hitting subscribe and like really helps my channel grow in a big way. So if you do watch my content regularly and you've not yet hit subscribe, please do consider doing that. Let's go ahead and take 3 cards to clarify as we go along, and then make sure everything's in view, and we'll get right into it for you. All right, that looks good enough to me for now. Energy on the bottom, you have the Justice card. Could be dealing with Libra energy here. Justice is the card of Libra, but Justice really is about creating equilibrium in one's life. And really it's a balancing of the scales, balancing of the karmic scales in one's life. And so this is a very good card if you have been acting with integrity, if you've been showing up for yourself, you've been doing the things you know you need to do, you haven't been engaged in lower vibrational energy, such as gossip or rumor making or, stirring the pot or anything like that. The Justice card can come in to reward you in a big way. This can also be associated with legal energy. You do have this interesting ace-ace cross here. And Ace of Swords could be associated with legal situation. The Queen of Swords. Number of Swords energies here. I do wonder if some of you maybe are dealing with a legal situation. I have to say that's been coming in for the collective here in April more than it ever has since I've been reading tarot on YouTube. So it's very interesting that that message is coming in. But yeah, so we're looking at a major energy of karma here with the scales on the bottom, with Justice, with all of these swords energies showing up here. And so let's continue to dive in and see how that might unfold for you. So in your current situation, you do have this Ace of Cups. Some of you just really, I don't think this is for everybody, but I think for some of you, there could be a new situation starting with a Libra, specifically, maybe another air sign, but probably a Libra. Some of you could be dealing with that. But the Ace of Cups can really bring a new love situation into your life. It is a very good card of emotional happiness and emotional new beginnings, happy new beginnings coming into your life, good things happening, good things arriving, new beginnings starting. And, obviously that can be relationships, but it can just be generally. The Ace of Cups can also talk about connecting with some level of creativity in your life as well, starting a new creative venture, starting a new creative hobby. And so, yeah, there could be love on the table, but there could also be maybe something around self-care, by the way. Some of you may also be working through, like, trying to create a self-care routine. Some of you may be doing that as well. Let's go ahead and see what else we have here. So in the problem position, this is interesting. I don't know that I've ever had this cross here with 2 aces. Very interesting to see that happen. The odds of that are very low given that there are only 4 aces in the 78 card tarot deck. So very interesting synchronicity for you. The Ace of Swords is a breakthrough. It can be good for legal situations, but you have it in the problem position. So I do wonder if there's maybe something that's obviously I can't provide legal advice, and this is not legal advice, but I do wonder if some of you are just concerned about a legal situation. I also wonder if some of you are concerned about communication. I think some of you maybe are also, it's almost like there's a doubling of the energy around a new beginning with 2 aces on top of each other, and you're so hoping for this new beginning to start. that I do wonder if some of you are concerned that it hasn't happened yet, or it's taking time, or something along those lines. That might be coming in for some of you. Let's go ahead and continue forward here. So in the past, you do have the Strength card. So this Strength card is the energy of Leo. But the Strength card talks about overcoming some type of internal obstacle in your life. This is like you having willpower. This is you diving into the depths of yourself and coming to the surface victorious, coming to the surface a winner. And this is having the real courage to surmount the things that are very hard for you, or to overcome the issues that are extremely hard for you. And so it's a very nice energy to find here. It's a very nice sign to get this Strength card in the past, particularly because you want this new thing to start, and some of you are a little bit concerned here. And so what I would say is that your karma here looks very good with the Strength card in the past. Okay, I don't feel like your karma is the main issue here. In fact, I think you have showed up for yourself here. You've shown up for yourself here with the Strength card in the past. And so it's like, if this new beginning hasn't happened yet, allow it to happen in divine timing. I know it's easier said than done, especially when there's anxiety around that situation. But it's almost like, what if you are showing up for yourself and it's not happening? What else can you do? What more can you do? Is there anything more that you can do than show up for yourself, Cancer? I don't think so. I think that's one of the biggest things that you could do in this lifetime. And it seems like some of you have been doing that. Now, in the future, you do have the moon, okay? Listen to the messages here. Listen to the voice of the universe as you see the musical notes kind of coming in to this person and coming out from within them. This talks about having internal messages and listening to those messages, listening to the tuning in to the universe here with the moon. But this can also say that there's something that you are not clear on. There's maybe something that is not as it appears. However, it is a temporary situation. The moon comes and goes, right? The moon, the phases of the moon are quick. And so whatever situation that you find yourself in, particularly around this new beginning, and keep going back to it. I'm going to keep going back to it because, again, super rare synchronicity here to have two aces on top of each other. But whatever this is that hasn't happened yet, in the future here, I do see that you will be getting dream-related messages. I do see that some of you will be intuitively knowing when this new beginning does happen. And so I would say between now and that time, between now and that new beginning happening, just do what you can, which is show up for yourself, and everything else will take care of itself. In your on your thoughts, on your mind, or on your conscious awareness, you do have this Empress card. So the Empress is a major energy of abundance and fertility. And so to get this with two aces, to me, does suggest that you are ready to see this happen. I do think the other thing is, aces can represent seeds, right? Seed energy, planting seeds. And the Empress is about fertility. I do wonder if some of you, oh, by the way, with the Ace of Cups and the Empress, that is definitely a fertility sign. Like if some of you are looking for children, or you've been trying for children, it can be good. If you're not wanting children, it's just a warning to heed for sure. But the Empress is major abundance in that there's something, in that you have an abundance of resources available to see something grow. And so it's like you're planting the seeds, you're getting this new beginning, you have the resources, you have the support. And so we're going back then to this issue around doing what you can, which is showing up, which you have been here with this Strength card in the past. You have been doing what you can. And so just keep that in mind if this message is for you. In the lower row, in the subconscious, what you can't see, the hidden, or what you're unaware of right now, you do have the Judgment card. So you have the two major cards of karma here showing up with the Justice card and the Judgment energy. Both indicate major energies around karma. It's interesting. I think in one of the other Cancer readings, I had a weird, I said there was like a weird tongue tie, and I just got tongue tied again for whatever reason, Cancer. So I wonder if some of you are having issues with communication because you have this Ace of Swords in the problem position, and the swords is a suit of communication. I do wonder if some of you are maybe you're feeling tongue-tied about something. But this judgment energy is around logic and rationality and taking a look at the facts, putting everything on the table, and asking yourself what it is you need to do to basically complete a task or complete a cycle. And again, I'm going to keep going back. It seems like the cards are saying you're doing everything that you can do in the moment, and so allow everything to happen when it's supposed to happen. In the staff, in the direction that you're headed, in your current influence, the way that you are influencing the situation, you do have this Four of Swords. Time to rest, okay? This is not a card of action, okay? This is a card of meditation. This is a card of healing, of recovering from something, particularly healing from heartbreak or recovering from heartbreak. Spending time with your animals, spending time taking care of yourself. Remember, I said there was something here around self-care in this message, and I do think that maybe some of you are doing that. So to get this Four of Swords here in your current influence, to me, is another sign that this is going on. And so, yeah, I think this is just, it's interesting because I sound like a broken record, but this is one of these readings where it's confirmation after confirmation coming in here. In the external influence, you do have the Hanged Man. So the Hanging Man, or the Hanged Man, in this case, is somebody who really needs to let go. and so it's like this energy of giving something up to get something else. Okay, are you really tied to an outcome? Are you really tied to when this outcome will happen or when this new beginning will happen? Are you, I'm trying to find the word. Have you already convinced yourself that it's going to happen at a certain time or in a certain way? Because if that is the case, this Hanging Man in the external is saying you would be wise to let go and see what happens. In the hopes and fears, you do have this Queen of Swords energy. The Queen of Swords is somebody who is deeply independent, but more importantly, somebody who's extremely focused on something. You are so focused on this new beginning here that you're fearful that it's like you're so focused on this new beginning that it's now becoming like a fear or a stress or an anxiety. And so there is I do feel like telling some of you to I do feel like saying that some of you may want to give yourself a day. I don't know what a day looks like for you. Maybe it's taking yourself to a movie. Maybe it's doing your favorite, going to your favorite restaurant, taking a nice long walk or a hike. It's some of you here, you're so intensely focused on this thing where it's be careful that you're not losing sight and losing out on the other things around you. In the outcome, you do have the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands is competition potentially present. This is maybe a word of caution around sharing, oversharing. When you have the Seven of Wands, it's always a good, especially if you're in a workplace situation, you want to be careful that you're not oversharing something because there's maybe competition around you, right? And unfortunately, some people are not going to want to see you succeed. But you, most importantly here, are showing up for yourself, as I keep saying. And so that's all that matters. Whether somebody wants you to succeed or not doesn't really matter at the end of the day. What matters at the end of the day is that you're doing what you need to do. And as long as you're doing that, you have good karma on your side, everything will work out. Let's go ahead and take a look at these three cards that are coming in the clarifications. So you have the World, the Page of Swords, and the Seven of Pentacles. You're getting the completion, all right? You're getting the completion here. I really love this. And my intuition was right. This Page of Swords here in the middle, the Page of Swords talks about delays. I was looking for the Page of Swords. I am not surprised to see the Page of Swords. This is news of delay. This is news of this situation not happening when you want it to happen, but it will happen. The world says it will be completed. I really like this because you have the Seven of Pentacles with it, which means you're thinking long term. Okay, whatever this thing is that we've been talking about the whole time, it's going to be different for everybody, but whatever it is, this is something that you are, you're playing the long game here. Okay, this is something that you know is good for you, and this is something that you know has long-term staying potential and something that could be around for a long time. What I really love is you have this here with the judgment energy. You don't realize how close you are to completing the task. You really don't realize how close you are to completing the task, it seems like to me. And so don't force anything right now, especially as you have this Four of Swords in the influence there, in your influence. Yeah, look, so you have thoughts, judication, and message. Some of you, this is legal, okay? And with this judication energy, you do have this message, you're waiting for the outcome, here it is, arriving, it's going to come in. The world can represent certainty, it's being certain that something will happen and will be completed. The thoughts here, the thoughts are like, I think the main issue with this reading, where it's like, it's the thoughts and the way that you think that the outcome is going to happen, and the way that there's certainty here, but you're in your mind, you see this happening a certain way, and it may happen in a different way. So that's what I have here for you, kind of a specific message, but hopefully it was helpful. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you. I'll see you in the next reading.